And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special edition of Tornado Talk, where we celebrate Black History Month this evening. And very happy to be joined by a co-host tonight. Glad to have with us tonight Senior Woman Administrator and Assistant Athletic Director Stephanie Johnson. Thanks for co-hosting the show tonight, Stephanie.
Hey, y'all.
And there she is. Well, we'll hear more from Stephanie in just a matter of moments here, but do want to give you kind of a preview of what we're going to be talking about tonight. You know, when you think of Black History Month in sports, names like Jesse Owens, Arthur Ashe, Muhammad Ali, Hank Aaron, Bill Russell, those are the household names that come to mind. But in this special edition of Brevard College Tornado Talk, we're going to dive even deeper into Black History Month and talk about that intersection with sports, but also tell you some of the stories here at Brevard College. You know, get to know some of the coaches and student athletes here at Brevard College. And before we do so, we really want to take a moment to recognize two groundbreaking accomplishments here at Brevard College. And the first two Black student athletes at Brevard College, and the first of which from the class of 1968, Calvin Saunders, the first Black male student athlete at Brevard College on the men's basketball side of things, really paving the way for future tornadoes. And then on the women's side, Linda Sharp from the class of 1974, the first Black female student athlete at Brevard College. So really want to recognize those two alums. These two helped pave the way for student athletes to follow over the years, helping future Black student athletes accomplish their dreams, reach their goal of becoming a student athlete at the collegiate level and right here at Brevard College. So thank you, Calvin Saunders and Linda Sharp. And with that, want to bring back our co-host, Stephanie Johnson, and let you get to know her a little better as well. Senior Woman Administrator, co-SAC advisor at Brevard College, also Assistant Athletic Director. She received her Bachelor's of Science in Sports Management from Coppin State University, Master's of Science in Sports Commerce from the University of Memphis, member of several national organizations, most notably Women's Leaders in College Sports, and the Minority Opportunities Athletic Association. Here on campus, she is a major part of SALT, which is the Social Action Leadership Team, has overseen the Be the Change initiative at Brevard College, and just, you know, it goes on and on as far as all that Stephanie does here at Brevard College. Stephanie, thanks again for joining the show, and I'm going to get you started with this topic for us. When I mentioned Black History Month, tell me what it means to you, and are there heroes and influences that might come to mind for you?
So, I have a really big hero that I just recently realized in my adult life that she is a legend, and this is my grandma. So my grandma, she's the first person in her family to graduate from college, right? So that was 1959. And she majored in chemistry. She went to Tuskegee, which is a HBCU. And she then moved to Midland, Texas, which is where my dad was born. She then, from 13, she knew she wanted to be a lab tech, right? So then she's like, okay, how do I do this? She figures out that she needs to go to Midland Memorial Hospital and join their school. And she couldn't get in. So it took her from February to August to get in, right? And she had a Black doctor help her get in. And she's the very first Black woman and student to go to the school and graduate. And she graduated in 1962 to become a lab tech. And she's been there, y'all, for 61 years in August. She's 83 years old and she will not retire because she loves her job. And the only reason that she is not the head of the department is because she doesn't want to do the supervising and the paperwork. She wants to be hands-on and be all in. And I love that. And I told her today, I was like, I got some big shoes to fill and I'm working on it. And she's like, well, I try to make the shoes big enough for you to get your feet in. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm trying to fill them. And I didn't realize she was such a legend. And she is. And I think that's huge to be a part of that legacy, right? Like, so that's my Black history, like right here in my backyard. I'm her granddaughter. Like, I'm her first granddaughter. Let me put that out there. So that's huge for me.
Outstanding, Stephanie. I love that, how it's like, you know, so close to home on the family side of things too. And before we bring in our first guest, I just want to talk a little bit about your career arc. And, you know, hey, we're in college athletics. We go to these conventions and these kind of things, and there's only so many women and also women of color who, are in these administrative roles, but you've climbed the ladder here in college athletics. Can you talk a bit about your journey, perhaps some of those challenges, but also, how you got where you are today?
So I would say just growing up and figuring out what I wanted to do, I never really saw Black women. Like that wasn't a thing that I was like, yeah, I'm going to be like her. It was just like, I'm going to be an athletic director. So like, that was me saying, this is what I want to do. Kind of like my grandma, like, hey, I like that job. I'm going to do it. Right. So once I got my foot in the door, which I had several mentors, Black, white, men, women, helped me, push me to get me to where I am. I got to be a part of the NCAA Minority and Women's Grant. And that's what really like got me in the door. So I really thank the NCAA for having this grant for minorities and women to help push us forward. Because without that grant, I honestly don't know like where I would be, right? And then through that, I was a part of Women Leaders, which I am now. And Miranda Nash became my mentor. And then that's how I got to Brevard College. So without that grant and then being a part of Women's Leaders and then me saying, hey, I need a mentor. And then they give me Miranda, like she's handed to me. And then me doing my part and talking to her all the time. We only talked on the phone, email. That's how I got to where I'm at, which I'm so grateful for Miranda. She is, again, one of my sheroes. And I will always say that every time I'm on here, every time I'm on the radio, I'm always going to say that I love her. So thanks, Miranda.
Very good. Well said. Well, perfect segue for our next guest as we bring in the head men's lacrosse coach here at Brevard College, Darry Thornton. Coach Thornton, thanks for joining the program.
Phil, great to be here. Thanks for having me, sir. Thanks for having me.
Very good. Well, this special edition of Tornado Talk, we're going to focus mainly on Black History Month and, that's subject matter, but do want to let folks get to know you a little better, Coach. You've arrived here at Brevard College this year, your first season, 11 years of coaching experience at the collegiate level, both in the state of New York and also the state of North Carolina. You were a prolific college lacrosse player as well, and I know you've been hard at work, instituting, your culture here with the Tornadoes this season. You guys actually play your season opener later this week on Friday in Atlanta at Oglethorpe. But back to kind of this special edition of Tornado Talk, Coach. First question is a simple one. Black History Month. When I mention that, what does it mean to you? What comes to mind? Are there heroes, influences that immediately pop into your head?
Yes, actually. First, let me say, our game against Oglethorpe, Kyle Morris will be the head coach. Who's the head coach at Oglethorpe? He's also a Black head coach and everything. So it's going to be, thinking about that and just actually just two Black coaches coaching during Black History Month. For me, it's just, going from 1 week to one full month, going through the whole history of Black History Month. And for us to have this game, for me personally brings, a lot of emotions. Black History Month itself brings, emotions as well, whether it's pride, sometimes disappointment, happiness, cases, sadness, fear. I'm kind of all over the spectrum. And, but for the month itself, it gives us a chance and honor to pay homage of the past and continue to create a legacy for the future, for the people after us, and and continue to fight for those that are coming after us. I think it's a time to reflect back on contributions before us, and the good, bad, and indifferent, and the struggle, how far we've come, how far we have evolved, but how far we still have to go. So it's a whole big mix and batch of emotions. But it's very, 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 very prideful. So
thanks, Coach. Really appreciate
and then
that answer.
I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I also had mentioned heroes or influences. You can go that direction as well.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I think the cliche thing is like, Bill Russell, Jackie Robinson, Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in sports, stuff like that. But for me, if we're going to talk, I have professional and I have personal. Professionally, these are, three gentlemen I've never met in my life, actually four gentlemen. John Thompson III, basketball coach at Georgetown. won a national championship as a black coach back in 1984. John Chaney, who was a head coach at Temple, both of these two gentlemen passed away, and for them to be black coaches and black leaders of men, and just seeing their interactions, and that's where I get the how I say we take high school boys and groom the young men, and just how they were just, mentors, coaches, father figures was absolutely huge for me. And I was real young, obviously, when they were coaching, but just seeing their influence on and off the court was just major. Billy Day, who was is like early 90s. He played at North Carolina. He was a goalie, and being black and playing lacrosse really don't go hand in hand. But just seeing that, starting off my career was unbelievable. And he went on to become, he coached the Boston Cannons, won a professional outdoor championship, and just seeing him and just how he applies himself to his everyday life and some of the stuff he's actually had to go through. And then other professionally, Colin Kaepernick, and without, getting way too far into it, think about where we were in 2016, when everything started to happen, and where we're at now. And I just, I there's a lot of things I can do in this world. I just don't think I could get myself to that level and just sacrifice, for lack of a better term, because, it's a privilege to play football, I understand, but just to give up so much, just to draw the line in the sand and say, I'm not the one. But for me, my two biggest heroes, and I'll pay respect to them, is Coach Williams. I always call him Coach Williams. He was the head track coach at Schenectady High School when I went to school, and he was the JV basketball coach. And I remember playing JV basketball on MLK Day. We had practice, and he made us all stand up and talk about what MLK meant to us. And we all, for me, I didn't understand at the time why he did that. And he always kept in contact with all of us, and he knew all of us by face and knew all of our names. And just his influence, especially with me growing up in a single parent household, just being able to talk to him after practice and just bounce off ideas off of him. I don't think, we talk about my projection as a coach and coaching influences. I don't think I'd be here without him just being able to talk to and lean on in certain aspects. And then Ms. Wilkinson, who was my guidance counselor. I wasn't always perfect growing up. I was in the office a lot. But she took the time, to sit there and just ask me what I want to do and what I want to be in life. And I honestly answered her. I said, I have no idea. And she said, that's perfect. Apply at a bunch of schools. She had me applying to schools. I had decent grades, but I didn't think I could get into. And she says, the worst thing that anyone could say to you is no. And you just, one door closes, another one opens. And, these two people who they're not related to me. I haven't talked to them in years, but, the influence they've had on me as an adult, going from a young man to an adult is I can't even qualify it. So.
Outstanding, Coach. Great stuff. Mentioning Coach Thompson and Coach Chaney, but also the ones who really influenced you on a personal level as well. Coach, I'd like to explore the sport of lacrosse and diversity in the sport of lacrosse a little further with you and educate our audience a little bit about your sport. We were doing some math earlier, you and I, and 14 total head coaches in the college ranks of coaching lacrosse, 8 in Division III, 5 in Division II, 1 in Division I. You mentioned, this game against Oglethorpe. There'll be 2 of those coaches, yourself included, on the field. But those are low numbers, no doubt. And I'm sure, it's higher than probably what it once was, but certainly not where it needs to be. I know you guys work together, on this cause. You told me about the Coaches of Color Zoom meeting that pops up every once in a while. And so, this is a prerogative for so many in the sport, but at the same time, there's a lack of diversity. There's no getting around it. Coach, can you kind of tell us even more about this subject, in particular on the coaching side of things, and, where you guys are trying to get?
For us, it was one of the most surreal moments of having a Coaches of Color meeting in lacrosse. We all literally took 5 or 7 seconds just to sit there and say, wow. I always say we've come so far, but we have a long way to go. Coach Nat St. Laurent, he's the head coach of Ohio Northern. He leads our diversity panel for the IMLCA for lacrosse, and he's done a lot. He's done a great job for us. These meetings, we just talk about some of our struggles, what we want to do, how do we want to lead and not be divisive in certain aspects. There's a lot of stuff in the meeting that is, we share a lot of heartfelt stories. And with us, it's one of the things. It's like diversity. It's tough, with lacrosse. It originated with the Native Americans, and I understand that it's Black History Month, and it's about being black, but without the Native Americans, and there wouldn't really be any black lacrosse players. And I have to give credit to everyone, black and brown, whether you're Native, whether you're black, whether you're Latino. We're all trying, in regards, and it's not easy for the sport. Or we're trying to find ways to make it a little bit cheaper. Helmets $200-$300, a pair of gloves another $150, a stick is $100. It's so hard to pick up and play lacrosse and actually go out, as opposed to football, basketball, baseball, soccer. Like, these are sports that you can literally it's really, really cheap. And so, like, there's a couple initiatives that we're going to be putting out there that we're going to do. There's going to be some stuff on Twitter and social media. But for us, it's just, we're continually try to grow and try and build. The jobs some of us get really aren't like our compatriots. And it's tough, but we're still fighting. We're definitely still fighting. And just to bring up someone real quick, Brian Jenkins, who's at Hiram College, we call him the OG. He's been here a while. And it was only like 2 coaches back in the day. It's him, Rick Soul back in the day. And now, for us to get up to this number, it's good. But 20 years later, is that enough? I don't think so. It's just all about opportunity. And we're trying to make the best of it. In a roundabout way, things are going well, but they can be better. And, we're still all trying to stay positive and do what we can. So,
Coach, can you tell us a little bit about your personal story, how you found the sport of lacrosse?
Okay. Okay. So I'll try and make it. There's no short version of this, but I'm gonna try to make a short version. For me to play lacrosse, I quit playing baseball to play lacrosse. Never did. Started playing lacrosse in high school. Got hurt my senior year. And I've said it before. My mother had a rule. Like, I was supposed to go to West Virginia to play football. My mother had a rule. She said, you either work or you go to school. You're not going to sit in my house. So I didn't know what to do. My high school coach recommended I go to junior college. Ended up going to junior college. Graduated from junior college. Went to Oneonta. Graduated. Started working for a disability insurance company, which I was miserable. And they were making good money and miserable. But how I got started in coaching and my path was I contacted one of my mentors, Bill Bajornis, God rest his soul, and we had a huge rivalry with Hartwick, which was right across the street from Oneonta. And he remembered me. I was obviously the only black kid on the field, but he's the one who gave me, an opportunity. I had a Twitter page a while ago, and I at his memorial, I put up a picture of him, a picture of his RIT jersey, because I like, we're talking about Coach Williams and Miss Wilkinson, but without him, I wouldn't be coaching. He gave me an opportunity. He took a chance. He didn't have to, because other people apply for jobs. And, he's the one who sent me on my trajectory from Hartwick assistant to Queens University, Charlotte assistant to head coach at Mount St. Mary College, Division III, New York. I got sick, had a health issue, had to step down. Got back into coaching with at Mohawk Valley Community College, went to Lise McRae, and then, I'm here at Brevard. It was tough taking time off because being black and getting back in the game ain't easy, no matter what anyone tells you. And so it's one of those things where it's just, getting back in the game, finding the right opportunity. And, it's in my blood and I love it. And, for me, it's just being able to give back and coach. And I always think about, like, if Coach, we always call him Coach B, but if Coach B never said, hey, yeah, Darry, come on down, or yeah, D, it's just, he took me out to lunch literally that day and we chatted it up, and it was awesome. absolutely awesome. That's something I'll never forget for him.
Very good, Coach. Do want to bring Stephanie Johnson back into the conversation here. And Stephanie, when you hear things like, hey, there's only 14 head coaches across all levels of NCAA lacrosse of color, and one of them is here at Brevard College, Coach Thornton. As SWA and assistant AD at Brevard College, I'd imagine, this is the kind of thing we're trying to accomplish here, with hiring practices and that kind of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. But love to hear from you, kind of your thoughts as you heard Coach Thornton describe some of those challenges within the sport of lacrosse.
Well, one thing I think about when he said that when they go to when they go to Atlanta,
Oglethorpe,
and he plays the other team, and the other coach is black, like that's something that we think about. Like, oh, the other coach is black. I wonder how many black coaches versus black coaches that are happening right now. Like that's something we think about as black people. Like when you walk in a room, you say, "Am I the only one here? Oh, there's somebody else." Like that is huge. I can walk out and say our men's lacrosse coach is black, right? And people are like, what? Like when I met my first women's lacrosse coach, I met a black one. I was like, I don't see this. And now we got Darry, and I'm like, all right, he's my second black lacrosse coach. All right, just keep tallying them up because I haven't met that many, right? So like he's history here at Brevard. Like you are history. You're a black lacrosse coach at Brevard College in Brevard, North Carolina. Like that's huge. So thank you for making history here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate it. And we also have another black coach in the conference, Brandon Soul. He's at LaGrange, so we'll be seeing him down the road as well. So he's doing big things down there as well. It's good. It's good to be in the game and everything, and just thankful for the opportunity in regards. And it's it's not off subject, but it's on subject. We have great staff here. Black and brown on our staff is something that's just I'm from New York, lived in the North, and just to be able to it's not a black or white thing, but it's just like, I haven't talked to, Stephanie. I've gone to Stephanie, talked to her. She has a different perspective. It's not necessarily just being female or being young. It's just like being black, a different perspective about being black, or Coach Hudson. Like there's so many different, people who have different life experiences, and a lot of them are positive, and it's just, it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. I can't, thank Miranda enough for the opportunity. So.
Coach, before we let you go, I would like you to kind of give a message to maybe the, youth sports side of things here in, across America. And, perhaps there's some, parents and that kind of thing tuning in, and, they might have a youngster who they're wondering, hey, what sport should I get my kid into? Give us the pitch why, young people and young people of color should enter the sport of lacrosse.
Wow, give him the pitch. Wow. I will say as someone, it's hard to explain lacrosse until you play it. They say you take soccer, basketball, hockey, throw it in a blender, you get lacrosse. But it's once again, when we're talking about individuals of color and families of color, I don't want to say it's not affordable, but it's not affordable. I would say this: there are initiatives, especially with Harlem Lacrosse and all this other stuff going across the country that we're working on. But one of the things is just like at the end of the day, watch a game. Email a coach. I've had at least 3 parents who contacted me about helping their kid out to go attend college and everything. And I have whether they want to attend Brevard or they want to go to Allegheny, or if they want to go to University of Virginia, it doesn't matter. It's a family. It's for lack of a better term, since for men's lacrosse it's a fraternity, and it's a chance to get out there and get noticed, because everyone plays football and everyone plays basketball and everyone runs track, and we're talking about minorities playing baseball. Everyone, quote unquote, does that. Why not be different? It's your avenue to get into school and get a good education, to be perfectly honest with you, and to get noticed. Because I go to recruiting events and we're recruiting the best talent we can, and then sometimes I'm on one field, I'm walking over to another field, I'm on field 3, I'm supposed to be heading to field 6. But I stopped by field 4 because, wait, we got 4 black kids. All right, so let me see what's going on here and take notes, so that for me personally, coaches are noticing. They 100% are. They 100% are. And, you know, I will also say, as someone, I'm not trying to get along with it, but as someone who's been through adversity in their life in regards to lacrosse, keep pushing forward. No matter what, just keep pushing forward. Doors are going to be shut in your face. People are going to tell you no, but at the end of the day, they're not trying to see you grow and get better. It's an opportunity for you to continue to obviously grow and get better. And just adversity is going to be there. And just look for people, whether it's myself, whether it's Coach Devo at Amherst, it could be a ton of people. And they don't necessarily have to be lacrosse coaches. You know, if this is something you want to do, you should definitely pursue it. And don't let anyone tell you can't.
I'll say this. Whenever I have children, I want my daughter to play lacrosse and I want my son to play lacrosse as well, because I don't want them to play a typical Black sport. Like you said, like I want them to stand out. I want them to be a little speck out there on the field, because that's what it feels like little specks. It's fine as long as they're seen. And so like, I support the movement. Let's go.
Absolutely.
There we go. We're building generations here, Coach Thornton. Hey, Coach Thornton, really appreciate you coming on the program. You know, and best of luck this week as you kick off the season, and the Coach Darry Thornton era will officially begin. You know, this Friday at Oglethorpe in Atlanta, Georgia. So, Coach, best of luck this weekend. We'll be following every step of the way. And thanks again for joining us here on this special edition. Any final words for our audience before we let you go, Coach?
No, just NATO Nation has been great. I'm blessed. And it's not a men's lacrosse thing. It's a football thing. It's a basketball thing. It's a softball thing. It's a soccer thing. You know, and it's a special. You know, it's not. It may be cheesy for me to say it is a special place. It's different. I've been in a couple of places. It is different, and it's great seeing every sport support each other, whether it's coaches, whether it's student athletes, or staff, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to do big things here, big things. So and continue to do so. So thank you.
Very good. Well, thank you, Coach. We're going to bring in a couple of your coaching colleagues, volleyball coach Kia Kaufman and basketball assistant coach Miles Leathers. So thanks again, Coach, for joining the show. And in fact, look, we'll get everybody on the screen for a moment here. Coach Thornton, before we let you go, any words of wisdom to these two as far as this Tornado Talk appearance, or anything you just want to say about these two and how special they are?
They're crushing it. They're crushing it. Bringing in recruits, always in the office. Sometimes I think I'm leaving late. They're still here. Sometimes I think I'm early. They're here. So they're doing good and big things. And you know, it's a credit, you know, to them, and bringing in kids. Bringing in young adults. Don't want to call them kids and everything. And just, you know, Tornado Talk's fun. Just enjoy it. Be yourself. Not a problem. You'll be good.
Very good. We'll let you go, Coach. Preparation for Oglethorpe. Talk to you later. All right. Well, we're joined now in the bottom right corner by assistant volleyball coach Kia Kaufman. Coach Kaufman, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having me. It's been special being here.
And also with us, assistant men's basketball coach Miles Leathers. Coach Leathers, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it for sure.
Well, we're celebrating Black History Month on this special edition of Tornado Talk, and would like to just kind of get things kicked off with each of you. Simply put, when I mention Black History Month, and when you might think of, you know, heroes or influences over your life or in your career, in your sport, what comes to mind? Coach Kaufman, can you kick us off?
As far as heroes, I guess it's not necessarily in my sport, but one person that really kind of influenced me to be great was my mother. She was an officer in the United States Air Force and was working with white men on like launching rockets to space. So it was really influential to like be around her and listen to her and watch her be a leader in her field. So it kind of really inspired me to kind of take the reins and try to follow my own path of leadership and helping the future generations.
Outstanding. Coach Leathers?
Yeah, I mean, similar to Kia, you know, obviously my mother and my father, they were big as far as influencing me to be a leader. I think just having those leadership qualities is really important. My father, he was a big time Muhammad Ali fan, man. So that kind of rubbed off on me. Just the fact that Muhammad Ali, he was just such a great guy. He was such a great man. He was such a great athlete. He did a lot of really good things inside the ring, but he also did a lot of really good things outside the ring as well. As far as just stand up for what he believed in, stand up for his religious beliefs as well. Obviously he was, a great champion. He beat a lot of legends, a lot of really good fighters. So a lot of the things that he kind of just had, a lot of qualities that he had, a lot of the things that kind of made him great as far as just his self-confidence, how he speaks with conviction, just his overall just mindset. I like to try to embody in myself, and embody in our guys, and, just have those same type qualities within our program as well. So, Ali was definitely one of my heroes, man, and rest in peace his soul. He's a great legend, great icon for sure.
Coach, I'm glad you mentioned Muhammad Ali, because I don't know if you've noticed, but everyone throws around the word GOAT like all the time. Like everyone's like, GOAT this, this guy's the GOAT, this guy's the GOAT. Originally, there was just one GOAT.
Yeah,
Ali, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. I say it all the time, man. The word GOAT, GOAT just gets thrown around left and right, but he was, like you said, he was the original GOAT, and yeah, a lot of people don't even realize it, but he lost a handful of times, but it was the way that he bounced back from those losses. I know my father tells me the story all the time about how he fought Ken Norton, and he got his jaw broken either in the first round or the second round. And he ended up finishing the fight. He lost the fight, and he came back and beat Ken Norton twice. He lost to Leon Spinks. He came back and beat him. He lost to Joe Frazier. He ended up coming back and beating him twice. So it's not even necessarily that he was undefeated or anything like that, but he handled adversity, and he handled losses, and he came back and he bounced back even better than before. So just the fact that he has that self-determination in himself to be able to bounce back from those losses is great, man. It's great. And like I said, it's something that I'll try to instill in myself all the time.
Outstanding. Well, would like to make sure our audience knows each of your stories as well. And Coach Kaufman, that you're in your first season here at Brevard College, under head volleyball coach Anna Grant. You came on board last fall, and you guys have been hard at work getting ready for your season opener, which is on March 6th. You come to Brevard, North Carolina from the Rocky Mountains. You're one of the few staff members who actually came from higher elevation than what we have here in Western North Carolina. But, a path in Colorado where you coached on the club level quite a bit. You played collegiate volleyball at Xavier University in New Orleans, as well as Colorado State Pueblo. Coach Kaufman, can you kind of tell us about your path as a volleyball student athlete and then ultimately entering the college coaching profession?
Yeah. So I started playing volleyball when I was 12, or playing club volleyball when I was 12, and I was always kind of the only in the gym. So I was always like the only one on my teams. And growing up in Colorado, like where I lived, I was also like my high school was very not diverse also. So it was kind of growing up in that community. And like I made my way to become a student athlete, and I started coaching when I was a sophomore at CSU Pueblo, and I would drive 90 minutes back to Denver to volunteer coach these young 8th graders. And I just kind of really fell in love with coaching and that side of it, and I wanted to kind of be the coach that I really never had, somebody that really acknowledged everybody and acknowledged that everybody has a contribution to the team. So that was kind of how I journeyed into coaching, and then I just went all in and did, like, I was just coaching nonstop. I had multiple teams by myself, and just going from club to high school to club to high school, and just never really taking a break. And then, yeah, I felt really special to get the opportunity here, and I kind of really loving it here so far, and I really love my job. I can't believe this is what I do for a living. So feel really blessed.
Excellent. Well, we're thrilled to have you. And I think a lot of people might not realize just the sacrifices that have to be made to get your foot in the door in the coaching profession. But sounds like you were able to accomplish that. Coach Leathers, can you kind of tell us your journey? You know, I do want to let folks know these are always fun statistics to bring back up. Coach Leathers is the only player in Brevard College history to do the following: 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 250 assists, and 100 steals as a player here at Brevard College. And, you know, he was able to springboard, you know, from a prolific basketball player on the court into this coaching profession. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey, Coach, both as a youngster and then a student athlete at Brevard College and now a coach?
Yeah, Phil. You know, I started out of high school. I graduated from East Mecklenburg High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. I wasn't heavily recruited out of high school. Coach Burgess, he was one of the few coaches that gave me a chance. You know, he gave me a chance to come up here and play. So, you know, I knew I was good enough to play. So I just wanted one opportunity. And, you know, Coach Burgess was the guy that gave me that opportunity, you know. So I came up here, you know, I didn't even take a visit. I didn't know anything about campus. I didn't know anything about Western North Carolina. You know, I didn't know anything about the mountains, but, you know, I just know I wanted to play. You know, I just always had that love for the game. I've always had that passion for the game. So, you know, he gave me the opportunity to play, and, you know, I got up here on campus. You know, I didn't really have like any type of idea that I would end up doing what I did. I pretty much just put my head down and worked. You know, I pretty much just played as hard as I could. You know, did what the system was designed to do. Play hard on defense, and it ended up just translating all 4 years. You know, I think my freshman year I was kind of like just a workhorse, just like a junkyard dog, you know, just go out there and play hard. Sophomore year, you know, my skills started to develop a little more. I started getting a little more scoring ability. And junior and senior year, I started to score the ball at a pretty high rate. So that's pretty much how that ended up going, man. I ended up graduating from Brevard with a degree in exercise science. And, you know, I wanted to, obviously, as you're a basketball player, you want to continue to just play. You want to play for as long as you can. You basically want to play until the wheels fall off. So, you know, that's kind of what I wanted to do. And, you know, God just had other plans for me, you know. I went overseas for a little bit, but then I came back, and I just had to come to the realization that, you know, eventually the basketball is going to stop bouncing, you know, and it stopped bouncing for me. So, you know, I wanted to just kind of figure out what I wanted to do. You know, I had to do a little soul searching. You know, I bounced around from job to job, but I eventually figured out that I definitely want to continue to coach. I mean, I want to start coaching. I want to stay within the game. You know, I've always had that love for the game. I always had that passion, like I said. So, you know, an opportunity came up with one of my best friends, TJ McCray. We ended up starting an AAU program based out of Warrenton, North Carolina. And, you know, that was a great experience. You know, that was probably one of the best things I ever did. And, you know, just like Coach Kidd, you know, it was completely volunteer. You know, I wasn't getting paid for it or anything like that, but it was just something I loved to do. So after that season was over, TJ, he came to me and he said, let's coach the local high school team. So started doing that, you know, and that was really cool. And that was probably one of the best things I ever did. And then right before the season started, right before the high school season started, Coach Burgess called me and said, you know, I want you to come back to be an assistant. And now I'm here, and this is the coolest thing I ever did. So, you know, it's I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed to just be on a upward trajectory, if you could say, as far as my coaching career. You know, I love what I do. It's a blessing. For anybody that doesn't know, just breaking into the business is really, really hard. And, you know, feel like you said, you know, it's definitely something that, you know, it's going to take some no's. It's going to take some, no, not this year, maybe next year. It's going to take a few no's before you finally get that yes. And, you know, like I said, Coach Burgess gave me an opportunity, and this is my second year here at Brevard, and I'm looking to really just bring some wins and, you know, just overall just bring a great basketball experience to these student athletes for sure.
Coach Kaufman, on that topic, we have a lot of Brevard College students who have ambitions to enter the coaching profession themselves. We've got a great exercise science major here, have that coaching kind of track as part of that. What would be your advice to, a graduating senior who's looking to get into the coaching profession?
Just to apply and get your foot in the door anywhere and get some experience teaching and getting to know the people that you're working with. I think it's just being determined to make a difference, and don't let anybody who says no stop you from your dreams. I feel like it's a sacrifice. It's going to take hard work, but in the end, it's going to pay off. And you'll see how much you change people and how big your role is in individuals growing up. So just don't give up and work for it.
Want to invite Stephanie Johnson back into the conversation. Stephanie, Coach Kaufman, Coach Leathers, these two really bring a lot to the student athletes at Brevard College.
They do. Honestly, did not realize that both of you guys were volunteering and out here being bosses as coaches before you got to Brevard. Did not realize that we had our own mini legends walking around. So just sitting here in awe, oh my God, these athletes that we have don't even know what they have in their back pocket. And hopefully they're taking full advantage. If you're watching this, you need to take full advantage of your assistant coaches. These people are people who can get you somewhere. They know other people out there. So I'm just glad to be on this video with y'all because I feel important.
Well, before we let you go, Coach Kaufman and Coach Leathers, do want to give you kind of the opportunity, and I know you touched on it at the beginning, but anybody else who might come to mind when we mention Black History Month, when we mention, kind of your career arc and where you are now, I just want to give you each, some time here to reflect back, thank anyone who may have helped you along the way and get to where you are today. Coach Kaufman?
I want to think she's just my coaching mentors, the people that kind of got me into sports, got me into coaching, that gave me a chance the first time to really put my foot in the door, the club coaches that I worked for in Colorado. And I really appreciate the opportunity that Coach Anna has given me. I feel really lucky to have gotten my foot in the door, and I feel like it has taken me a long time to get to this place. So I feel grateful that I was given the chance to make a difference. And yeah.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, we really look forward to seeing the Tornadoes in action. We know you all have been working hard, all the way since, the fall, and we're just about there with that March 6th season opener. So we'll see you and the Tornadoes at the Bosch. Coach Leathers, same opportunity for yourself. Anybody you want to thank who's helped you along the way?
Oh yeah, definitely. First and foremost, TJ, my best friend. I definitely shout out to him, man. That's my guy. That's one of my best friends, not only in the business but in general. Like I said, we kind of started AAU program together, and I pretty much tell people all the time, he was the guy that gave me my first start. So it's kind of cool how we kind of came into it together. Another guy that I definitely want to thank is Coach Burgess for sure. For him allowing me to come up here and come back to my alma mater and start my college coaching career. Definitely want to thank all the guys on our roster. Those guys, they work extremely hard. Love those guys to death, and we're definitely going to continue to work. Kalen Johnson, he was a longtime assistant before I got up here. He actually coached me while I was here. That's definitely another one of my mentors. That's definitely a guy that I respect, and a guy that I kind of seek advice from. KJ, he's definitely a great guy. Coach Hudson, Coach Donald Hudson, he's another mentor of mine. He's the current head coach for our women's program. He's another mentor. He's another guy that I look up to. He's a guy that I definitely have respect for, and definitely want to strive to kind of run a program like he runs his program for sure. So those are a few guys, but the list can pretty much go on and on, man. It's so many great coaches out here. not only, African American, high level, mid level, high school, middle school, it's so many great coaches, and they all just do a great job. And I have a big time respect for pretty much every coach that that has a passion for what, he or she does. So, shout out to all the coaches, man. But, those guys in particular, they've helped me a lot. And I continue to seek advice all the time through those guys.
Very good. Well, Coach Kia Kaufman, assistant volleyball coach at Brevard College, and Coach Miles Leathers, assistant men's basketball coach. Really appreciate you joining this special edition of Tornado Talk. And Coach Leathers, good luck this weekend in Berea, Kentucky for the season finale pair of games. We'll be following every step of the way. And Coach Kaufman, looking forward to that opener for the volleyball team. You want to touch on this year's squad a little bit, Coach Kaufman? Give NATO Nation a bit of a preview of what's to come, with the start of volleyball season?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see them in action. I feel like they've really been working hard, and since I've met them in August, I've seen leaps and bounds of improvement on the court and like off the court. I've really built a relationship with each of the girls, and I'm just excited for them to go out and show what they know and do the dang thing, So yeah, I'm really ready for it.
Outstanding. Well, Coach Miles Leathers, Coach Kia Kaufman, thanks a lot for joining this special edition of Tornado Talk.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and there they go. So with that, Stephanie Johnson, we're going to bring in our first two student athletes. I know you've been waiting for this moment.
Yes, I have.
As I'm sure they're backstage in the green room and getting ready for this appearance here. And here they come in the bottom left corner from the women's basketball program, student athlete Shakirah Thompson, the senior from Atlanta, Georgia, and from track and field, Gabe Covington, the senior thrower from Charlotte, North Carolina. Shakirah, Gabe, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Phil.
Stephanie, before we kind of really get these two talking, I want you to show off these two a little bit. You've gotten to know them both on the court, off the court, and in Gabe's case, on the field, off the field. Tell us about these two.
Let's see. We'll start with Shakirah. So Shakirah is the president, hand-selected by me, of the Black Student Union. She is a phenomenal women's basketball player. I count every three that she shoots, and then we count it for real if it goes in. But Shakirah she does not know this, so she has my heart. I love you, girl. I've known you for 2 years now, and you've created a special place, and you're gonna make a huge difference in this world, whatever you do. But right now, I just need to focus on making threes. And school. Gabe is so special. He knows this. I call him Pastor Gabe because when he speaks, it's like he's preaching to you, and you're just like, "What? Huh? Do I need to go read the Bible?" You just feel better after he talks to you. He recently just got a scholarship that hopefully he highlights in more detail after this. But Gabe is super special. He's going to do big things when he leaves Brevard. I'm super excited for you, Gabe. I'm excited for when track season starts to see how far you throw that. Do you do the disc and the shot put?
Yeah. Yes,
so I'm excited to see you throw it far, set some records for Brevard because I know you can break all of them.
Yes.
All right, Phil. It's all you.
Well, she mentioned it, Gabe. So do want to let NATO Nation and our audience know you were named one of 25 college students across the state of North Carolina to receive the Independent College Fund of North Carolina Blue Cross and Blue Shield North Carolina Scholarship for this academic year. So you're amongst a very select group from colleges throughout the state. When you got word of that scholarship, how did it feel, Gabe?
Oh, honestly, it was mind blowing, and I'm very appreciative of the people. I'm very appreciative of the people who put that scholarship in place and selected me to be the recipient of that scholarship. So I can't complain about anything.
Great here to see some of the Gabe Covington fan club starting to chime in on the Facebook Live comment section. Now, Shakirah Thompson, there's a big night just around the corner here, which is senior night for the Brevard College women's basketball team. It'll be this Friday night. We're going to bring NATO Nation special coverage of the senior night ceremonies via YouTube. There's 5 seniors being honored. You're one of them, plus student manager Mia Mills. So a grand total of 6 tornadoes being honored on Friday night. And that's going to be a big moment. Have you thought about that at all? You know, what do you think when I mentioned senior night? It's here.
It's like came so fast. It's like I was just a freshman the other day, and now we already talking about senior night. I remember decorating the locker room for all the other seniors in the past, and I'm just so ready for them to do it this year.
Yeah, it'll be a fun night, and we want to encourage NATO Nation. Tune in on YouTube at 6:40 p.m. We'll be going on the air, and we'll bring you every moment of that pregame ceremony when the women's basketball seniors are honored, including Shakirah Thompson. Well, one of the reasons, and really the main reason we're here this evening, is to celebrate Black History Month. And, you know, I'm sure when I mention Black History Month, certain names, influences, maybe people who have helped you, but also maybe people from the history books come to mind. Shakirah, let's stick with you to get us kicked off on this one. When I mention Black History Month, what comes to mind? Any heroes, any influences?
Yeah, I always think about my grandma when Black History Month comes around. She was always telling us like the real stories about what was going on back then and how we could like help change things. And my aunt and my parents always tell us like, just keep your head up and things will get better. No matter how hard things get, just keep focusing on what you're doing and everything will work itself out.
Gabe Covington, when I mention Black History Month, what comes to mind?
Well, Phil, you know, me personally, I think Black History Month is a time where African Americans can take the time out to see what it is we not only fought for as a people, but what we accomplished as a people. During this time, we shed light on, you know, our leadership, integrity, as well as our determination as a group of people. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Very, very well said, Gabe Covington. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your path, Gabe? You know, how'd you get into sports? How ultimately did you become a student athlete here at Brevard College?
So really, I got into sports because I seen my big brother. He played football, and I always wanted to mimic my brother in almost anything that he did. So that's really what got me started in football. But as far as track goes, I've as crazy as it may sound, I actually started track my freshman year of college, and to be able to accomplish the things that I did, it was amazing. And I'm a Christian, so I believe it was God's path for me, Phil.
Very good. Well, we're glad you ultimately found your way to Brevard College and became part of the NATO Nation and our family here at Brevard College Athletics. Shakirah Thompson, tell us a little bit about your path. You know, how'd you find basketball and ultimately become a tornado?
Well, I found basketball through my dad. Pretty much taught me everything I knew about basketball. He set me up with a trainer, and we got to work. We were working every day except Saturday and Sunday. And then if we didn't go to the trainer Saturday and Sunday, I was working with him. And I just all my coaches they all just instilled in me hard work. And it really started from track, honestly. My work ethic started in track because that was my first sport. And then I started playing basketball in 7th grade. So track was really my foundation sport, and it just helped me throughout all my years of being an athlete.
president of the Black Student Union here at Brevard College. And you guys have been working hard, both behind the scenes, but also up front and, in the spotlight at times as well for this Be the Change initiative. Shakirah, can you kind of tell us what you guys have been working on at BSU and what you've already accomplished, this academic year with the Be the Change campaign here at Brevard College?
Yes, with Be the Change, was kind of like a foreign thing that Stephanie came up with for us. And we've done protests, we've done activities around the campus, volunteering, and this month we've been doing trivias on our BSU page, and that's been getting our attention, like grabbing people's attention. So we're getting the word out about our club. So hopefully more people join and we'll get this ball rolling, keep it going for the next years to come.
Gabe Covington, the VP of the BSU. You feel like you're starting to get some momentum going here at Brevard College?
Oh, absolutely. Shout out to Miss Johnson. Always setting us up. Always setting us up, in the right position to get the word out. Just know, Phil, we have some things in place that are going to be, real special. We have some things in place.
I just want to say that I'm super nervous because the school has just said that we can start meeting in person and we can start having events in person. And y'all will meet our community engagement director, and she's real hype about this club, which is great. And she has plans. And I'm nervous because we're going to execute these plans and they're going to be great, but I don't know what's in her head. So I just need my president and my vice president to keep her together.
Gotcha.
Okay, we got it.
Well, before I let you two go, I always want to give you the opportunity, and you already touched on a few of your influences who've helped you along the way, but I want to give you just the open floor. Shout outs, thank yous, anybody who's helped you along the way. And then weaving it all back to Black History Month, anybody, who may have just influenced you over time, history books, the world of sports, wherever you want to take it. Gabe Covington, the floor is yours.
Well, obviously, first and foremost, I got to thank God. Without him, I don't know where I would be. My mother, she's my rock. So I love her. The rest of my family members, my track coach, actually, Coach Darry Patrick. Shout out to him. And shout out to these two lovely ladies right here, because, they keep me on track as well. So big kudos to you.
Very good. Same opportunity for you, women's basketball senior Shakirah Thompson.
I'd like to give thanks to my parents. There go my mom right here. Give thanks to my parents and my whole family. They're my biggest support system. I like to give a shout out to the athletic staff, because without y'all, my day would be kind of boring because I'm always in the gym. And I like to thank Coach for keeping me on my toes, instilling character first, not just on the court, but as well as off the court. And that's it.
Very good. Well, Shakirah Thompson, Gabe Covington, two exceptional student athletes and leaders here at Brevard College, two seniors. So we're seeing that finish line as well. You guys will be walking across that stage before we know it. But thanks again for joining this special edition of Tornado Talk, Shakirah Thompson and Gabe Covington.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
There they go. Well, we're going to bring in two more student athletes, Stephanie. So we're going to keep this thing rolling as here they come. Timiah McGee and JaMarcus Walker joining the program. Great to see these two. Timiah McGee, a member of the volleyball team, sophomore middle blocker from Dover, Delaware, and JaMarcus Walker, sophomore tennis player from Seneca, South Carolina, Seneca High School. Now, this isn't just a normal day in the life of one of these two student athletes. Stephanie, you want to break the news to NATO Nation, what we got going on here?
Yes, today is JaMarcus Walker's big 2-0. Happy birthday, my guy.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, JaMarcus, it's the second straight year we've celebrated your birthday on Tornado Talk. And do we got a tradition here going?
Yeah, I think it's the start of a good tradition. So let's keep it going, Phil.
There you go. Well, we encourage everybody out there to wish JaMarcus a happy birthday, and glad you're able to join us here, JaMarcus. And Timiah McGee, it's great to have you on the show as well. Really appreciate you joining the program. We had your assistant volleyball coach, Kaufman, on earlier. You guys have been working real hard getting ready for the start of the season. Timiah, catch us up on volleyball.
Yes, well, thank you guys for having me. So we've started practicing in the fall, grinding hard because technically it's like flip-flop. So like the fall was considered our spring season. So that's the time, we get in the weight room, we, build our muscle, and then we just get in the gym and work on different plays or connections with our setter and just with our team, and also team bonding. And like Kia said, there's definitely been lots of improvement, and I'm excited to see us on the court.
And JaMarcus, you guys have been working hard to get ready for your season as well. Everybody knows the most unusual of times, so there's postponements and cancellations all the time. But you guys have been grinding and are getting ready to play some tennis, right?
Yeah, we're getting ready. We've had, I think, 3 good weeks of practice now, and we're just ready to play.
Well, Stephanie, I want to give you the same opportunity I did with the other 2 student athletes. And, these 2, again, part of that leadership group at the BSU, you're one of their mentors, both on the court and off the court. Tell NATO Nation just how exceptional these 2 student athletes are.
So I'm going to start off with the birthday boy. So JaMarcus, it actually works in the office. He, from day one, since his freshman year, has been super vocal, I want to know what y'all are doing in here because this is what I want to do, right? And he got so comfortable with us that he asked us for things that no student would ask any administrator in athletics. But and if you don't know, if you haven't been to our office, his face is on the wall, right? He thinks he did that. He did not, but he thinks he did that. So
2 times. 2 times. Face on the wall 2 times.
So I just wanted everyone to say happy birthday, JaMarcus. He is our treasurer of the Black Student Union. Now, moving to Timiah. Timiah, we had a rough start, but I love her. She's my girl. She comes in the office all the time. She does study hall in my office, which is great because I'm always asking her about her grades. Like, are we going to class? Are we doing our homework? I'm on her, like white on rice, right? So she is the community engagement, the person I was talking about, the one that is going to be on 10 when we start these events, because she's been all over it, coming to me with ideas after ideas after ideas, because she wants to make Brevard College better. She wants to see all the beautiful Black and brown faces out there doing great things. And she wants to invite everyone else to be a part of it. So I think that's great. Both of you guys are going to be great leaders when you get to become seniors and you get out of here. But right now, enjoy the sophomore year because the end is coming.
And I just want to add to that because both these 2 student athletes have helped what we do on our side of the office quite a bit behind the scenes. And, people who tune into the broadcasts and, watch the games on YouTube or, follow the teams on bctornadoes.com. These 2 have been part of the sports information side of things as well. JaMarcus helping behind the scenes with things like keeping statistics during the games, which isn't easy work, trust me. And then Timiah McGee working behind the scenes on the broadcast and, being our extra set of eyes and ears and helping us improve the broadcast every contest. So really want to thank them for that work as well. And, just want to make sure NATO Nation knows, these 2 are helping us on behind the scenes in that department also. Well, guys, the reason we're here tonight for this special edition is to celebrate Black History Month. And, when I mention Black History Month, I'd love to hear from each of you, what comes to mind, whether it's some, buddy on a personal side of things, or somebody perhaps from, the history books, or perhaps a hero, a sports hero, or somebody else who might have influenced you along the way. JaMarcus Walker, when I mentioned Black History Month and, you think of your heroes, what comes to mind?
When I think of Black History Month, I think of a time where just to appreciate all the good things African Americans have done in history, like all the amazing and wonderful things that African Americans do and continue to do and has done for us in the past. And a couple of heroes I have. One of them is Serena Williams, who opened the path for many African Americans to play tennis like myself. And also, one of my heroes are Muhammad Ali, who's the same person Coach Leathers said earlier when he was on. Muhammad Ali was a really good, inspirational athlete. And even though I was born way after his prime, I still knew that he was a good inspirational athlete to me.
Some great names there, JaMarcus, no doubt about it. Timiah McGee, same question for you. Black History Month, what comes to mind?
Yes, the first person that comes to mind is my mother, Sharice Taylor. Hey, Mom. So my mom always has instilled to me, to always grind, always make sure that you're, doing the best that you can. Some background information, my mom, she was born in 1969, not to tell her age, but so when she was younger, she went to, predominantly white schools, and she always had to, fight to prove, how smart she was, different stuff like that. And she always told me, continue your education, reach for the stars. And currently she now has her doctorate degree. So I want to be just like her.
Great stuff, Mia McGee. Really, really appreciate that. JaMarcus, you mentioned Serena Williams, and, you might not realize it, but you're trailblazing yourself. There's only so many college tennis players of color out there getting it done. And, you're getting it done here at the Brevard College McCoy Tennis Center, practicing and getting ready for that season opening match, which is just around the corner. Can you kind of tell us, your journey? Why'd you choose tennis?
Well, honestly, the reason why I chose tennis just so I wouldn't be sitting at home on the couch, because during my off seasons, I played basketball and football in high school and middle school, and during my off seasons, I didn't have anything to do, so I went and tried tennis, and I ended up loving it. So I'm still playing to this day. So
glad you found something you love. That's half the battle, right? Finding something you really, really enjoy doing. Timiah McGee, same opportunity for you. Tell us how you found volleyball.
So I started off playing basketball because my older brother, he played basketball. I was always at his games. He's 12 years older than me, so I was always at his games. I was always in the stands cheering for him. So I picked up basketball, and then in middle school, I started playing volleyball. And then I got a chance to play club volleyball, which is AAU basketball. And the coaches actually gave me a chance to put me in position to learn and just learn as much as I can and soak it up. And then I played in high school, and then I'm currently now here playing for Brevard.
Do want to let folks know a little bit what you guys have been doing in the classroom, and would love to hear each of you as far as your ambitions, both here academically, if you've chosen a major, what that might be, but also what you're looking to do once you complete your college degree. JaMarcus?
I'm currently majoring in business with a minor in coaching. And when I graduate, I hope to work in the athletic department. So, hopefully one day, whether it be at Brevard or somewhere else, I'll have the chance to work with athletics, which I have big passion for.
Outstanding. Mia, tell us about your studies.
So I'm majoring in health science with a minor in coaching and criminal justice. That's kind of a lot, but I would like to have my own skincare brand, and then I would like to be a criminal defense attorney. And also I would love to do a little coaching on the side as well.
Very good. Well, want to give you each the opportunity And JaMarcus, it's your birthday, so we're gonna let you go first, and you can take as long as you want. Thank yous, shout outs, people who helped you along the way, influences, heroes. The floor is yours, JaMarcus.
Well, the first person I have to thank, of course, is my mom. She's my biggest supporter and the hardest working woman that I know. And without her, I wouldn't be here at all, honestly. Someone else I would like to shout out is Stephanie for allowing me to work with you guys in the athletic department and really learn the athletic game, I guess you can call it. So I really appreciate Stephanie for everything she does. I know she's over there smiling right now. She's so happy. And that's it. That's all.
Well, JaMarcus, well said. Happy birthday once again. We've still got a few more hours to celebrate this birthday, so we'll keep it going on the Facebook chat, I'm sure. Timiah McGee, same opportunity for you. Thank yous, shout outs.
Yes, first I'd like to thank my mom, my family. I'd like to thank you guys for making this possible, and Coach Anna, Coach Kia, and then most definitely Stephanie, because when I first got here, Stephanie, she actually coached me and she actually gave me the chance. She put me out there. She taught me everything, well, most things. And Stephanie's not afraid to keep it real with you. If you're not performing on the court, she will pull you aside and she'll tell you that you're not up to par. You need to fix it. And I really like that. That really helps me a lot. And it's my heart. Thanks.
OMG. Thank you guys. I need to say this, and I meant to say it last time, but every single person on this campus that looks like me, that is younger than me, that is a student, I work hard for you guys because I know that you're watching me, right? And so I'm grateful to be in this position, but I'm grateful to have y'all in my life because you're pushing me to be better. And thank you for allowing me to be one of your mentors. I really appreciate it. OMG, I have to be on mute because I'm going to start crying.
Very good. Language of the heart right here on Tornado Talk. Great stuff. JaMarcus Walker, happy birthday. We'll see you over at the McCoy Tennis Complex. We can't wait to see you in action. And Timiah McGee, thank you for joining the show. We'll see you on March 6th when the volleyball team gets their season going. Thanks again, JaMarcus and Timiah, for joining the program.
All right, thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. And so, Stephanie Johnson, let's put a bow on this special edition of Tornado Talk. First of all, was there anything we missed? Anything you'd like to add to the program?
I don't think so. Well, I would say I think just right now, thank you, Phil, for this was your idea. We need to let everyone know this was Phil's ideas, guys. And with this broadcast, I feel like we're making history right now. And thank you, Phil, for being a part of this history-making moment and allowing me and everyone that was a part of it to be a part of it. I appreciate it. I know they appreciate it. So thank you.
My pleasure. I'm glad to help however I can. Do want to mention, both of us are part of this social action leadership team, also known as SALT, here on the Brevard College campus. And, folks, unless you're really like kind of in the middle of things at Brevard College, you might not realize what goes on some of these committees around campus. But, this social action leadership team really got going last summer. When things were red hot on this subject, and hopefully we've been able to make a difference here at Brevard College and in Brevard, North Carolina, and Transylvania County. Earlier today, a Black History walking tour in the Rosenwald community in Brevard College, a historical and educational tour that brought the community's rich African-American heritage to life for those who participated. Stephanie, I think you had the chance to go on that tour. Can you tell folks a little bit about it?
So the tour was amazing. It highlighted Brevard's Black history, which I didn't even know existed, right? I've lived here 2 years, did not know this existed. A young woman from Jamaica came and she got a grant and she was like, I'm going to put up plaques around this certain area of Brevard to highlight the history that Brevard has. And it was just so cool to walk around that neighborhood and see a Rosewald school, which are in several different places in the country in the South. But there's one here in Brevard, and it still exists. And the administration for, I believe it's the Brevard schools, is in that building now, which is super ironic because only Black students could go there, and now the administration is there, right? And I know the administration is white, like I just know it. So it is just very ironic and cool to see like the flip. And I encourage everyone to go. I don't know what side of town that is, but I could point you. I could point you in the right direction if you let me. And you can go see it and read all about Brevard. Y'all, there was a nightclub in Brevard owned by Black people. Like, what? Who knows these things? But yeah, you should read about it. Mom's Mabley, she's from Brevard, North Carolina. Like, who knew that, right? She's a comedian. She was on Broadway. Wanda Sykes played her in a TV show on Prime. Like, who knew these things? Like, I'm in the same city as someone famous that I didn't even know about. So it was really cool to go on that walk today. And it was a beautiful day. So I'm glad I got to go.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, celebrating Black history during Black History Month. And, you know, and you mentioned this, Stephanie, when we first brought up kind of this idea of, you know, doing this program and so forth. It's something that needs to resonate 12 months out of the year. You know, this isn't just a one-off this month. We got to keep this history in mind all the time. Yes,
I agree. So as a Black person, like, our Black history is every day, right? So I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Hairspray. Once a week or once a month, they would have a day on the TV show was Colored Day, and the main character was white, and she befriended all the Black people, and she loved them, and then she was like, "I wish every day was Colored Day, right?" And they were like, "At our house, it is." So every day for me is Black history, and I just wish that every day for everyone else would be Black history, Hispanic history, like Native American history, right? We just embrace all those histories every day.
Well said. Well, we hopefully are continuing to do our part here at Brevard College. Be the change, the campaign that has gotten going, and do want to thank all of our guests this evening. Our co-host tonight, Stephanie Johnson, from the Brevard College Athletic Department. Head men's lacrosse coach, Darry Thornton. He brought a lot to the program tonight and really educated us on lacrosse and diversity within that sport. Assistant coaches on the Brevard College Tornado Athletic Department staff, Kia Kaufman from volleyball and Miles Leathers from men's basketball. Thank you, coaches, for joining the show. And then 4 outstanding student athletes, a part of that Black Student Union leadership, Shakirah Thompson, Gabe Covington, Timiah McGee, and JaMarcus Walker. Join us this Friday night when we celebrate the women's basketball team's senior night. 6 seniors will be honored at the Boschmer Gymnasium. Due to COVID-19 protocols, no spectators allowed inside the gym. However, we will be bringing you all the festivities on YouTube. Tune in at 6:40 p.m. this Friday. And I think, Stephanie, that's just about it for this special edition of Tornado Talk. Any final words for our audience?
Hey, Mom. I know she's gonna watch later, so hey, Grandma, I love you. Hey, Crystal. Hey, everybody.
There it is. Well, Stephanie, thanks for joining us this evening and co-hosting this program. We're glad to have made it happen. And thank you, our audience and NATO Nation, for tuning in this evening for this special edition of Tornado Talk celebrating Black History Month. Go Tornadoes!